I am stronger than my excuses. These 5 words may sound simple, but they carry the power to change the entire direction of our lives. Every morning when the alarm rings, the first voice we hear is not the sound of opportunity, it's the whisper of excuses. 5 more minutes. See, I'll start tomorrow. It's not the right time. That small inner conversation decides whether our dreams stay alive or fade away quietly. Excuses are clever. They disguise themselves as reasons, logic, and even self care. They say, "You've worked hard enough," when in truth we've barely begun. They say, "You're not ready," when readiness only comes through action. The problem is not that we don't have time or talent, it's that we talk too much to our limitations. And when we keep talking to our excuses, we give them power. But the moment we look in the mirror and say, "I am stronger than my excuses," something shifts inside. You remind yourself that you are not controlled by comfort. You are led by commitment. Strength doesn't come from lifting weights or facing storms. It comes from lifting yourself above your own justifications. Think about it, every successful person you admire once had 1,000 excuses, just like you. The difference: they stopped listening to them. They acted even when they didn't feel like it. They showed up on days they wanted to hide. That's real strength, not perfection, but persistence. So every time your mind says, "I can't," whisper back, "Watch me." Every time it says, "Later," say, "No." Because the distance between where you are and where you want to be is filled with one simple choice: to stop talking to your excuses and start acting on your potential. You are stronger than your excuses. Always have been, always will be. I will not compare myself to others. It sounds easy, but in today's world, it's one of the hardest promises to keep. From the moment we wake up, we're surrounded by comparisons. On social media, in our workplaces, even in our own minds. Someone has a better job, a bigger house, a fitter body, or more followers. And slowly, without realizing it, we stop living our lives and start measuring them. Comparison is a thief. It steals joy quietly. You might have been happy with your life until you saw someone else's. Suddenly, what was once enough now feels small. But remember, every person's journey is unique. You can't compare your chapter 2 with someone else's chapter 20. You don't know their struggles, their sacrifices, or the sleepless nights behind that smile. When you constantly compare, you silence your own story. Flowers don't compete to bloom, they simply face the sun and blossom in their own time. In the same way, you will grow best when you focus on your own path. The world doesn't need another copy of someone else. It needs the best version of you. The truth is, comparison creates pressure, and pressure creates unhappiness. The moment you stop talking about who's ahead or behind, you start running your own race. Progress may be slow, but it's yours. The only person you should try to be better than is who you were yesterday. So every morning, remind yourself, "I will not compare." Celebrate others' success without questioning your worth. Turn envy into inspiration, jealousy into motivation, and competition into compassion. Because peace begins the day you stop measuring your life against someone else's and start appreciating the beauty of your own journey. I am grateful for what I already have. These words are a quiet reminder that happiness doesn't always come from getting more, it comes from noticing what's already here. We often wake up and immediately think about what's missing, what we don't have, what we didn't achieve, what we still want. And in that chase, we forget to appreciate the small, simple blessings that fill our everyday life. Gratitude is not just saying, "Thank you." It's a way of seeing. It's looking at your morning cup of tea and realizing how many hands helped bring it to you. The farmer, the seller, the person who made it. It's feeling the warmth of the sun and recognizing that life, in all its imperfections, is still a gift. Gratitude transforms an ordinary day into something meaningful, not because the day changes, but because you do. When we focus on what we lack, we live in scarcity, but when we focus on what we have, we live in abundance. A grateful heart doesn't complain less because life is perfect. It complains less because it has learned to see the good hidden in the imperfect. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring problems. It means refusing to let problems steal your peace. Try it every morning. Before checking your phone, take a moment to count three things you're thankful for. It could be your family, your health, or even just the fact that you have another chance to try again today. When you begin the day with gratitude, you carry a calm energy that no challenge can easily shake. Because the secret of lasting happiness is simple. The more you appreciate what you have, the more life gives you reasons to appreciate. Gratitude turns enough into abundance and ordinary moments into miracles. I will focus on what I can control. These words are like a compass that brings direction in the storm of life. Most of our stress, anger, and disappointment come not from what happens to us, but from our attempt to control things we never truly could. We can't control how people think, how situations unfold, or how fast success comes. But we can always control our attitude, our response, and our effort. That is where true strength lies. Every day life throws unexpected situations our way, delays, disappointments, misunderstandings. The natural tendency is to fight, complain, or worry. But none of that changes the outcome, it only drains our peace. The moment you stop talking about what's outside your reach and start acting within your control, you shift from frustration to focus. You stop reacting and start responding. Imagine driving in heavy rain. You can't control the weather, but you can control your speed, your wipers, your patience. The same applies to life. You cannot control the storm, but you can adjust your sails. The world outside will always be unpredictable, but the calm inside is something you can choose every day. Focusing on what you can control is not about giving up, it's about growing up. It's the maturity to accept that some things are not yours to fix. When you waste energy worrying about the uncontrollable, you lose energy for what truly matters. But when you direct your focus to your actions, your discipline, and your mindset, progress naturally follows. So every morning, remind yourself, your power lies in your choices, not your circumstances. You may not control how the day unfolds, but you can always control how you show up for it. And when you master that, you stop feeling helpless and start feeling powerful. I am enough. These three simple words carry a depth that can silence the loudest insecurities. From a young age, we are conditioned to believe we must be more successful, more attractive, more talented, more everything. And so, we keep chasing validation, trying to prove our worth through achievements, appearances, and approval. But no matter how much we do, it never feels quite enough, because the problem isn't outside, it's the voice inside that keeps saying, "You're not there yet." When you start telling yourself, "I am enough," you begin to quiet that voice. It doesn't mean you stop improving or growing. It simply means you stop hating yourself in the process. You recognize that your value is not defined by how much you produce or how others perceive you. You are worthy from the moment you were born, not because of what you've achieved, but because of who you are. Think about a tree. It doesn't try to be taller than another, nor does it question its beauty because someone else blooms earlier. It simply grows at its own pace with quiet confidence. You too are growing, even if you can't see it every day. Progress is not always visible, but that doesn't mean it isn't happening. When you believe you are enough, comparison fades, anxiety softens, and peace begins. You stop chasing people's approval and start respecting your own efforts. You begin to celebrate small wins and forgive yourself for your mistakes. Because being enough doesn't mean being perfect, it means being real. Every scar, flaw, and failure is part of what makes you uniquely beautiful. So, each morning, remind yourself with sincerity, "I am enough." You don't have to prove your worth to the world. Just remember it, live it, and let it shine through everything you do. I will keep moving forward. Life is not a straight road. It's full of turns, speed breakers, and sometimes complete standstills. There are days when nothing seems to work. When your plans fall apart, people disappoint you, and progress feels invisible. It's in those moments that this line becomes a lifeline. To keep moving forward means to keep walking, even when the path is unclear, to take one small step when your mind screams to stop. Many people wait for perfect conditions to move. The right time, the right support, the right opportunity. But the truth is, progress rarely feels perfect. The path reveals itself only when you start walking. A river doesn't stop because of a rock in its way. It finds a new direction and keeps flowing. That's what life expects from us: resilience, not perfection. Moving forward doesn't always mean making giant leaps. Sometimes it's as small as getting out of bed when you don't feel like it, as quiet as choosing peace over anger, or as strong as forgiving when you could have held a grudge. Every little act of courage counts. Progress is not measured in speed, it's measured in consistency. There will be failures, setbacks, and moments when you question yourself. But remember, even a slow step forward keeps you ahead of those who stopped. Every sunrise brings a new chance to start again, and as long as you are breathing, your story is still unfolding. So tell yourself every morning, I will keep moving forward. No matter how heavy yesterday felt, no matter how uncertain tomorrow looks. Today is your chance to take one more step. Because life rewards movement, not hesitation. The journey doesn't need to be perfect, it only needs your persistence.